is little doubt that the Soviet Union did embark upon a bold venture to establish
a list of key regime leaders who must be pursued and brought to justice.
In 1975, the Vietnam War was coming to an end. South Vietnam was on the verge of collapse, and the atmosphere was chaotic. People feared for their lives and for the lives of their children. This resulted in many families deciding to give their children up for adoption, hoping this would provide them an opportunity for a better life. In a race against time, President Ford initiated a humanitarian effort called Operation Babylift. And it was the Defense Intelligence Agency's attaché, who was already on the ground in Saigon, that coordinated the relocation efforts of the South Vietnamese children. The first flight of Operation Babylift left Saigon on April 4th, 1975. About 12 minutes into the flight, there was a mechanical failure. Tragically, 138 people perished in the crash. 78 of those were children. 35 were women from the Defense Attaché Office. 5 of those women were DIA employees there to serve as caregivers and escorts for the children. We remember and honor those women on our Patriots Memorial. Despite the tragedy, there was little time to mourn, as parents were desperately seeking a safe haven for their children. Operation Babylift continued for 4 weeks, and at its conclusion, more than 3,000 children had been successfully relocated to other countries. One little girl who arrived in the United States was named Kim.
I grew up in a small town about 40 miles north of Seattle, Lake Stevens, Washington. They didn't raise me any differently than they would anyone else. I did Girl Scouts. I was in gymnastics for 13 years.
In school, she was the cheerleader. College, she was the newspaper editor. She was totally involved with everything. The rest of us had good lives, but Kim had an extraordinary life.
Kim decided to move from Washington State to Washington, D.C., where she applied for a job with the Department of Defense. Unknowingly, it was for a position at the very agency that brought her to the United States back in 1975.
When I came here, it was Paul that gave us a tour of the museum, and he took us around to the Patriots Memorial.
President Gerald Ford, U.S. President, authorized what's called Operation Babylift.
And I was like, wait, I was a part of that.
DIA's leadership and sacrifice during a major humanitarian effort is just another example of our impact around the world.
Every time I walk by the Patriots Memorial, I do take a minute to just look at their names and just think about them so that they keep living on in someone's memory.